Hi, welcome to Tamika's Story Time. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't hit that subscription button, I encourage you to do so. If you haven't given me thumbs up, I ask that you do and hit that notification button so that you can be aware of the next video. This story that I'm about to share with you is about a tragedy that happened on Christmas morning. A 35-year-old woman, mother of 6, was brutally stabbed to death in front of her children and her neighbors. A tragedy that happened in the city of Philadelphia, in the Albany section of Philadelphia, on December 25th, 2019. Bear with me. I want my tea and super greens. If you haven't noticed, I always have my tea and super greens. I will get to the story in 1 minute. Bear with me. I encourage you to take your whole body cleanse by super greens, super reds, whatever you take to do your natural cleansing. This is mine, and it also helps with my throat to tell you the story. December 25th, 2019. This particular family life was forever changed, and Christmas will never be the same for this family and so many other families, but I'm going to start with one family at a time. And this family, I'm starting with this particular family. The woman was celebrating at her home the night before Christmas with her family, her children, and some friends. And they were having a wonderful time when the inebriated husband came home. And it was later that evening, just as guests were leaving, he began to argue with some family members that were still there. The mother, she quickly intervened and, told the inebriated husband to back off and to knock it off. Well, with that, he goes up to the bedroom. So the guests, they leave, and the uncle, the mother's brother, was a little apprehensive of leaving. He was saying, are you sure everything is okay? Do you need for me to stick around? And she assured him, no, everything is fine. We as women, we like to take care of things ourselves for the most part. And she felt at that point everything was okay, and that anything that would go on she could handle. With that understanding, she cleaned up the house and put the kids, the kids range from 8 to 16. Everybody got in their rooms and wherever they were going to be for that night, and they fell asleep. And they were awakened by the horrific screams from their mother and tussling, the furniture being in chaos. They woke up to chaos. The furniture being tossed in the bedroom because the mother's trying to fend off the husband, who has a 10-inch butcher knife. The 14-year-old son runs in. He tries to help his mother, and in the process, the father stabs him. The mother was then at that point able to escape out the room and get down the hall to the top of the steps, where he began to attack her some more, and she managed to flee down the steps and out the front door. Needless to say, this man chased her down out the front door, out into the street, and commits to continue to stab this woman repeatedly. This woman gut-curling screams awoke the neighbors. The neighbors wake up and they look out their window and they see this man over top of this woman stabbing her. So everyone is calling 911 at this point. You have the children in the house calling 911. You have the neighbors who are witnessing this horrific act. They're calling 911. So the police got all these calls. To be exact, they got 26 calls, all simultaneously almost at the same time. So they're sending the police from every direction to this location. And as the police arrives, this man is standing over this woman, this bloodied woman. The child, before the first police officer arrived, the oldest child managed to get the knife from the father's hand and run it into the house and hides it up on the second floor so that he wouldn't be able to stab nobody else. So when the police arrived, this man was standing over this woman's body, and he was still yelling obscenities to this woman laying on the ground in her own blood. And this man is still inebriated, out of his mind, and Don is unaware that the police is there, and they throw him down on the ground and put the handcuffs on him and throw him in a car. And meanwhile, the ambulance snatches this woman off the ground, throw her into the ambulance, rushes her to the hospital, which was Albert Einstein, the closest hospital, where they tried to save this woman, and she succumbed to her injuries at the hospital. They rushed the 14-year-old to the hospital, and they started surgery right away on this young man, and he survived. But needless to say, he will always be traumatized from the actions of his father. And Christmas will never be the same for this family, needless to say. He single-handedly destroyed the most beautiful, wonderful day of the year. He destroyed these children from the age of 8 to 16. He destroyed their Christmas forever. Forever. They will never look at Christmas the same, no matter which way it comes or what is giving, where they go. Christmas will never, ever be the same. Not for them children and not for them neighbors, because of the horrific nature of that crime. And what those neighbors witnessed, they can't unsee. On Christmas morning, 3:30 in the morning to be exact. Christmas morning, this man viciously and savagely attacked his wife from the inside to the outside. When the police went inside the home, they found chaos and blood all over. Every piece of furniture from the first floor to the second floor was turned over, broken, glass shattered everywhere, Christmas presents destroyed by blood splatter, and glass shattered all throughout the house, and trails of blood leading all through the house and out the front door into the street. This is an image that horrified the hardest detectives. To see this type of malice and callous act of violence from another family member on Christmas Day. I tell this story with sadness, with a great deal of sadness in my heart, in my mind, in my being, for those children, for the loved ones who attended that's connected to this family. My heart and prayers and condolence go out to you this Christmas and every day moving forward, because nobody deserves that. And this man who will ever be impacted, not the corporate, the brother of this woman this woman, this victim who left, who was who was scared to leave and then questioned of staying. His life, this child's life, this children's life will never be the same. They lost their mother and their father. This is in Pennsylvania, and guess what? This is a capital murder. First degree murder. Capital murder in Pennsylvania. You could go the death penalty. So I say, rather he elude the death penalty, which he is life automatically. Life. He will never see the day of life on the outside ever in life again, because that was first degree murder. He went in there, he stalked that woman, he chased her down and he took her life. That's first degree murder. So the bottom line is this: be conscientious of it. Could happen to any one of us. None of us is exempt from tragedy. And the moment that you think that you are exempt from tragedy, or you're welcoming tragedy into your world, because you have put down your defense. And the moment that you do that, you're welcoming it into your life. So I say, just be conscientious and be mindful. Be thankful and grateful for your family. Hold your family a little bit tight and closer this Christmas, because there's a lot of people who did not make it to see Christmas, or will not make it to see Christmas. Unfortunately, this family's life has been, Christmas will never look the same, will be the same for them, and it will never look the same and be the same for a lot of others who are connected to this, and that goes from family members to neighbors, because their life, they can't unsee what they seen, and they can't, and it goes back to that wonderful day, Christmas. So no one can never forget that date, December 25th. We all know that date, whether you celebrate it or not. So I say, I pray that that family is able to move on. That family is able to find some sort of peace within themselves and within the day when it comes. Their mother will always be with them. By all accounts, this was a loving, nurturing mother. By all accounts, she was a beautiful soul. So I know that this woman will never leave her children. She will always be with them. And if they should see this video, I send my love, my prayers to you, and my arms wrap around you spiritually, as well as your mother's presence is always going to be with you. I assure you of that. She's not taken. She's with you. She may have been removed physically, but spiritually she's with you, and she will remain with you, and throughout your life and throughout your walk through life. So don't ever think that you are alone, because you may not have her in the physical, but you have her in the spiritual. And I say nothing to the man, because that man seek the Lord, because you need to make peace with the Lord at this point, because that's your only chance at this point, is making right with God. We all have that responsibility to do so, but for sure, this man who did what he did, for sure. I pray that this story, I give these stories to not just give a story, but it's for purpose. It's story time as a cautionary tale, so that not only I'm telling you what happened, I'm also giving you something to meditate on, to reflect on, to think and know that it could easily be someone that I love. It could be someone, it could be me. It could be anyone. And no one's exempt from tragedy. I've had tragedy happen from the inside to the outside, all around me. And the pain doesn't go away. It just gets a little bit duller. It never goes away entirely. So with that, I say, I hope that this story time was a blessing to someone as far as being a eye-opener, a cautionary tale, if you will, something to think about, something to consider when you get into that place of, I want to hurt somebody, they did me wrong, vengeance, if you will. When you get in that state of mind, just remember, those who family was snuffed out away from them, and they didn't even do anything to cause that to happen. It was just based out of somebody's reaction, and it was by the hands of another loved one. So we need to be conscientious of that, because a lot of us get mad at family, friends, and we want to do something to them because they're the closest to us, and we can get to them. That's not what you want to do, because when you take one person's life, you're affecting everybody that's connected to that person. You are literally affecting everyone connected to that person. You're not just hurting that person. It's everyone that's connected to that person. You done destroyed them in one way or another, rather you see it that way or not. So just be conscious. We're here to give each other stories for purpose. We are here to give love, compassion, and care to one another for purpose of showing and exhibiting and reflecting and being that bridge of love. And I want to be a bridge of love to you. These stories that I'm sharing are, by all accounts, horrific in nature, but it's for purpose and reason, as a cautionary tale and as a catalyst for change. We in conscientious and in a conscious and a conscientious matter. I want you to be conscientious of your own emotions, your own feelings, and what the possibilities could be and could go before you even go there. Okay? Because it's so much tragedy and nobody's thinking, everybody's reacting. So you need to tell these stories so that a person won't react. How about that? Less reaction, more thinking, more compassion, more purpose. Can get that spiritual connection with God, if you will. We all need it. The absence of God is the presence of the devil. That will never change. The absence of God is the presence of the devil. And idle time is the devil's workshop. That man took in too much liquor. Rather, it was too much liquor or whatever it was. I'm not giving that man no pass, no excuse for what he did. None whatsoever. So I'm not even going to touch that situation no more. But I say, I hope that this was a blessing to you. I hope that you bless someone with this story. And I hope that you come back to see me for more story times, because I got more stories to share with you. And I hope that some way, shape, size, or form that it manifests goodness, manifests conscientiousness, manifests empathy and sympathetic to other people's plight, and bring awareness to yours. Where you at, you might be in a bad place, but you could be in a worse place. And there are people who are in worse place than you are in. Sometimes we think we can't go no lower, but this is living proof that you haven't hit the bottom, because you're still here. And as long as you're here, you have the ability to make change or be a beacon of change in some shape, size, or form. Be a beacon of light to someone and be an extension of love to them. I hope that I was an extension of love in some shape, size, or form by you coming and seeing me during story time, because you are a beacon of love and support to me by coming in and sitting in and listening to me share a story with you and my tea and my super greens. This is something that I just want to share with you, not just stories, but also give you some words of affirmation and also some things that you should incorporate in your mind, body, and soul. God is one. Take care of your body with things that will cleanse your body. Super greens, super reds, collagens, vitamins, what supplement of choice for you? Take those supplements so that you can do whole body cleanse, because it's not just for the mind, it's also for the body, and it's also for the soul. So I try to give you all three in one. Okay, stick around with your girl, and I guaranteed you will be blessed with a story as well as a message and words of affirmation with some tea time. Peace. God bless.